Hey, Mom.
Hey, Eric.
Hi, Eric's mom. I'm Matt.
Good, good.
Are we on?
We're live. We're live.
Oh, hey.
Hey, what did you want to talk about?
True.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna
Actually, first, I wanted to say for other parents out there that have sons and daughters that are atheists, it's okay to agree to disagree. And for our relationship, I couldn't be prouder of you, Eric. You have a path, and you're going for it. And I just want you to know that Dad and I are behind you all the way. And we're enjoying the show. And Matt, thank you so much for stepping in, and just very awesome.
Thank you.
And just the one thing I kind of wanted to put out there is for other parents, what would be a good thing for them to be able to come alongside and support their kids, even if they have a faith themselves and they believe in God.
I think you are a wonderful example of that.
Yeah, you're so sweet. I'm not going to even nitpick over the agree to disagree thing, which is a personal pet peeve, and it doesn't apply to the way you used it. It only applies in arguments. I think what you did is a great example, because people will call in and say, you know, I'm an atheist and I have kids and my spouse is not, and so how do we go about raising them? And I don't have kids, and I'm not an expert in child rearing at all. And so the advice I've constantly given them is just, you know, don't worry about it. Try to avoid direct indoctrination, but love your kids. Be willing to say, I don't know, when you don't know. And don't just finish with, I don't know. Say, I don't know, but let's see if we can find out, to encourage in them a sense of discovery. And that also empowers them as individuals, that lets them know that they can be who they are, that the fact that they are convinced of something or not convinced of something isn't going to be the foundation upon which the parents determine whether or not that child's worthy of their love or their respect. And no matter how gruff or antagonistic I am on shows or in debates, I think any of my debate opponents, almost any one of them, except maybe Cy, would tell you that while I have strong disagreements and strong words about the positions themselves, that is separate from how I feel about the people and the individuals. I mean, Blake Junta and I have debated 3 different times. I love Blake. He's a great guy. He's boneheadedly wrong on any number of things, but we get along great. And if I can do that with debate opponents who I don't know, who aren't family, then I don't understand why so many families fall apart. Well, I think I kind of partially do. I think in some cases, there are fears that some religious views prey upon and amplify. And if one person in the relationship is uncomfortable by the views that the other person's expressing, anger and ostracizing are defense mechanisms to protect themselves and their beliefs. And so I think you've already done a great job here of saying, you know, hey, we may not disagree, but you're my kid and you're awesome and I love you and you're doing good stuff and we're here for you. And I think if everybody did that, there'd be a lot less drama surrounding this I believe and you don't argument.
And we talked about this a good bit. Just for fans who obviously weren't privy to our conversation, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of just wanting to understand each other. And you remember what it was like at church. It was brutal. People, if they didn't fit in, they were out. And I think we need to build a better world than that. And I'm so happy that you're proud of me. And I want to work to be the kind of person that you're proud of. So.
You guys are going to make me cry, and I don't cry.
You're making me cry. Okay.
I will say this. I will say this, and that's, my folks and I enjoy a really good relationship, although they're not proud of me or what I do. They think I'm working for Satan and leading people to hell, and that is a real problem for them. But they also know that I'm a decent person and that they love me and that they come down and stay with us. I visit them, you know, at Christmas. We talk all the time about things unrelated to this. So we've found a new way to make it work. I think there are areas in which my parents are proud. They're certainly not proud of this, but that speaks to their issues from the particular version of Christianity that they've adopted and or invented. And I see what your and Eric's dynamic. It's fundamentally different from my dynamic with my mom, and yet we still have a good relationship and get along. I've helped kids who have been thrown out of the house, 16-year-olds who are like, oh, you're an atheist? Well, you can't live with us anymore. And we have to find them new places to live. That is the very thing that I stand in opposition to, and the reason why I do what I do. If religious parents across the board were even as okay with this as my mom is, and she's not, but able to maintain a relationship, I don't think there would be it wouldn't be as huge of a deal. I would still care about the beliefs. I would still care about the beliefs. I would still care about what's true. I would still care about the philosophical arguments, the scientific evidence behind certain things. But the dynamic between people has to be one of the primary things that we look at. And I'm happy that I'm still able to interact with my mom when I know so many other people who aren't. And to see even better dynamics demonstrated between the two of you makes me incredibly optimistic. So I'm glad you called.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mom.
All right. I'll let you guys get to another caller. Love you, Eric.
Sounds good. Love you too.
I love your mom too.
I know, right?
What's for dinner?
When I came out as an atheist, I had no idea how she was going to react. She was still really in the church, and I thought, I want to live my life honestly and openly, and I was in a safe enough place that I could. And when I talked to her, she got quiet, and she goes, I don't love you any less, right? And I had it just blew me away. So
what strikes me about all this, we talk about it in terms of coming out. If you took the word atheist and scrubbed it from the entire conversation we just had and replaced it with gay, you would have the same dynamics where there are parents who are, oh no, I'm not going to have a gay kid, you're out. There are others who, I'm not going to like or appreciate your lifestyle, but I'm not going to completely ostracize you. And then there are parents who are going to say, I'm going to love you no less, even if I don't understand it, don't agree, whatever else, you're still my son. And then there are some who just flatly embrace it. You see that same dynamic across the board.
And really, I think the big common piece there is the best advice for parents is love your kids. I mean, they didn't choose to be born to you, and they didn't choose the circumstances in their lives, and they depended on you, and they still do depend on you, and they look up to you. And that's up to you to model that love, because that's you getting to show them how they can give that love in the future.
It's a good time here to make a couple quick points. One is something that Jen Peoples said years ago, and I've echoed it over and over again, and that is, from her perspective and mine, you are family if you act like family. I don't care if you're blood related or not. There are people who I'm not close kin to, just friends, who are my family, even though there are members of my blood relatives who are not my family. Yeah. And I didn't end relationships with people based on that. They ended them with me because they couldn't handle this sort of disagreement. But if you are in one of those situations where you found yourself in a position where you've been ostracized from your family, whether you've come out as a non-believer and it's caused great problems, there are organizations out there for you. There's Recovering from Religion, there's the Secular Therapist Project. There are a number of other organizations that will work with you to make sure that we are building communities for people to land in when they leave religion, because even if you don't lose your entire family, you are going to lose some of your social network. It's not like I can walk into a Baptist church and say, hey, I was a Baptist 25 years ago. My wife's in the hospital. Will you cook me a meal and watch my kids? Actually, as I say that, there are churches I could walk in and do that, and there are people that would be happy to do it. And I know a number of pastors in town that if I reached out to them right now and said, holy crap, my car is dead, I've lost all my income, everything's bad, they would rally to do this. And it's not because they're Baptists or Presbyterians or Methodists. It's not because they believe in God. It's because they're good people.
That's right.
And one of the things I'd like to encourage even believers is don't give your God or your religion credit for being a decent person.
Please.
Because you can be a decent person independent of your God and independent of your religion. Yeah. It's not like your belief in God makes you a good person. It may be that you have picked the God that you believe in based on the characteristics that you think it wants to inspire in you, because you already have those characteristics, because you do want to go out and, you know, my wife made 500 hats for the homeless. There's Atheists Helping the Homeless, there's Humanists at Work, there's other organizations, the Ramp Project.
You know, people that I met through those organizations, I don't think I've met so many giving people just like that in my life than I've met in this last year getting to know people in those projects. It is unbelievable. And you're absolutely right.
I'm always right.
No,
that's why you guys invited me on. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we want to give you some exposure so you can get
Who is this famous new bald guy?
Yeah. You'll make
Somebody
it.
should give him a show or something.
You'll make it. It's all right.
By the way, over the years, I've not been incredibly self-promotional. It annoys me to do so. And I always make sure that when I'm talking about the atheist experience when I'm out, that I talk about our show, and you know, it's not just the Matt show and me, which is another reason, going back to the initial discussion, sometimes I don't want to take a call because it's all about me and not about the bigger issues. But my agent would beat me around the head and shoulders if I didn't point out that you can go to mattdillahunty.com or Pangburn Philosophy. I'm doing 3 events in the next month with Lawrence Krauss and Sam Harris, and then the Canada tour in Canada? Yeah.
Yeah, it's America's hat. They love it when you call it that.
We're going to Canada.
Yeah, and I mean, even for this, like, it is Talk Heathen. This is Jamie and I's show.
Yeah.
But I love the solidarity of you coming in here and saying, hey, this is a sister show of the Atheist Experience, and this is something that we're growing, and we're so appreciative of it. We really
I want there to be as many shows as there are people to talk and listen.
Well, wait until I'm established before you say that.
Well, I've been saying it for years. There were other organizations who were like, we want to do a show like the Atheist Experience. What do we need to do? And we told them, here,
do it, yeah.
And some of them succeeded and some of them didn't. So your job is to succeed.
I'm down. Let's do it.
And don't forget, you can donate to possibly have him cut his hair.
No, seriously, if you press the I that should be right here, it will.
Right there.
I am opening up a vote, and I think 200 would probably get me to cut it off. A big donation will get me to shave it.
I dyed my beard pink for $10,000.
That is amazing.
For Camp Quest. By the way, another organization we should talk about.
Yes.
If you're tired of having to deal with the religious aspect of the Boy Scouts and the anti-gay aspects of the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts are better, and I believe Girl Scouts are now accepting boys. There's also Scouting for All, and if you want your kids to go to summer camps that aren't going to shove religion down their throat, look up Camp Quest. It's an amazing opportunity. I love Camp Quest.
I can't wait to see it, and I really want to volunteer now that I live out here to try that. Yeah. So I actually had like 5 things to say, and then I started listening. I just lost it.
You had 5 things to say, but I talked.
Yeah, well, and I just, woof. That's all right. We're going to get there.
That's how it works.
You know, give me time. I'll get there. I'm learning it.